Okay, it brings us to a good point here. So our website is sellyourmdhousenow.com, sellyourmdhousenow.com, and we are working with all off-market stuff typically. We wholesale, we're doing some fix and flips, and some also some buy and holds. But everything in my company with Impact Home Team is off-market, and Chris is doing everything on-market. And so there's a line in between. Sometimes that's a blurry line, but we do collaborate on the deals that we do. So let's talk a little bit about why someone would call you versus call me when they're selling their home, right? Because when you're going to sell your home, there's three basic ways that you can sell your home. And that's one with a realtor, so you call Chris. The second one is sell it yourself for sale by owner. And then the third one is you would call me, an investor. And so I like to say that there's three total things that you can get when you go to sell your house. And that's top dollar, that's speed, and that's convenience. If you're calling Chris, you're calling him because you want to get top dollar and you want to make it convenient. And in most markets, unlike today, it's not going to be fast or it's not going to be predictable. You can't make it on your schedule. If you call someone like me, you're calling me because I can buy the house fast, 14 to 30 days, and I can make it very convenient, but it's going to be at the discount of top dollar. So, with that said, why would someone call you versus call me? What makes a very good client for you and a very bad client for you?
Okay, very good client. A home that is meticulously maintained, nothing wrong with it, structurally sound, mechanically sound, in a neighborhood that buyers are looking for. And of course, like you said, Josh, looking to get top dollar and the maximum amount of exposure. I think that's a good point that we didn't talk about yet is exposure. Having access, like we do as realtors, to the MLS, all the different avenues of the internet, social media. Social media has been a big thing. We have, intra-agent Facebook pages that we talk about properties that we may be coming up to the market soon and who has this, who has that. So I think a big thing, folks are looking for exposure, the most amount of eyes possible on a home when they're looking to go the retail or hire a realtor route.
Sure. So I would say if they're calling you, it's usually in move-in ready or better shape. Is that fair?
Most of the time, yes. Move-in ready or better shape is what we're looking to market most of the time. However, there's nothing wrong with a home that may need a little bit of love, but is not a full as is, needs lots of repairs, things like that. And we'll talk a little bit more about what we consider move-in ready, because you might consider it a little bit different as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's, if we could draw a line right down the middle here and say who goes to him, who comes to me, it would be that move-in ready line. Because Chris will take people who are sellers who are move-in ready or better, and for me it's pretty much move-in ready or worse. And so Chris talked about what's a good client and a bad client for him. A good client for me is someone who is motivated and they want to sell the house fast. They don't care as much about the money, but they do care about the outcome. So they want X number of dollars and they want it by X date. We can help them accomplish that. That's more in our wheelhouse. Typically, it is in bad shape, or it might be move-in ready, but it's move-in ready or worse. So it needs rehab, it needs a lot of love. And my specialty is working with other investors to pass on these discount deals for rehab. We either rehab them ourselves or we'll partner with an investor to take down the house and then to rehab it and then put it back on the market with Chris. So by the time Chris is selling homes, these are usually move-in ready or better, top end of the market. When I'm buying these houses, they're usually in rough shape or maybe move-in ready and need some sort of love before they can be resold to families for that financing or for that appraisal and financing that families usually use. So that's just a really brief difference in who sells with Chris or to me. So
I think we kind of answer a question about who's a bad client. A bad client for me would be someone who just needs a super quick sale, no contingencies, just find me a buyer kind of thing. Or the home is in really rough shape, it needs a lot of updates, and it's just not going to show that well, say online to the consumer. So that would be a bad client most of the time for me.
Another one I just thought of is a bad area, because you were talking about great areas.
Yes.
Right? So it could be an
Which
okay
is a
house.
line. We got to be fair housing
Sure.
specific.
Sure, absolutely. So it could just be an area where there's not much demand, right?
Sure.
And if the demand's not there, it's not going to be right to put on the market with a realtor.
Exactly.
So that's a brief difference between us. What are some other differences when you're going to sell your house with you versus selling it to me?
Some other differences in terms of selling with a realtor or a wholesale cash buy your house for now, right?
Yep.
Buy your house cash now. Didn't we kind of talk about that?
Well, some of them, like I would say another difference, could be your closing costs.
Oh, you're right.
Maybe your timeline. Something
Timeline.
like that.
Okay, so one difference would be certainly there are costs involved with selling any property, right? So the one difference going with a real estate agent versus a cash offer with an investor would be the fees. Typically there are more expenses going our route, but then that is typically offsetted with the amount of money that we can typically get on the retail market. So it's really timing, and it would be the cost aspect of it as well. But it's all based on the situation. If you're looking to get top dollar and have a little bit of time, we can work with that. If top dollar is not a concern for you and time is, then an investor offer with Josh is going to behoove you in that situation. It's really all about the client and what's their goal, what's their end goal with what they're looking to accomplish.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say, to toot my own horn a little bit, if you chose to work with an investor, it's why you would choose to work with a great investor like myself, because in the end, honestly, I'm going to do what's best for you. Mm-hmm. If I think you can get a whole lot more money on the market, I will refer you over to Chris and make sure you get that. There's a lot of investors out there that are one-trick ponies that can only buy their way, and if it doesn't fit inside that box, then it's not going to work for them. But truly, the good thing about working with me and my company is that if you need to sell your house, no matter which way you're going to sell it, then I can help you accomplish that. Because even if it's not right for us to buy and rehab ourselves, I work with great agents like Chris who can definitely take care of you. So it's all about that network too.
Very good point.
Okay, so let's talk about one more thing that we both do. And that one thing is something that interests a lot of people, and that is marketing. So in my world, in the investment side, we talk about marketing a whole lot. And we talk about all the different marketing channels that we use. And we talk about some conversion and sales. And for you, I know you guys are really starting to differentiate yourself now with a lot of your marketing.
Correct.
Where before it's really come from a lot of your circle of influence, your sphere of influence.
Sphere of influence, past clients, just general referrals, people that know, like, and trust us.
Absolutely.
A big thing for us that we've started doing is a lot of SEO on Google.
What is SEO?
Great question. Search engine optimization around certain keywords that the consumer, anybody going on Google, is typing. Homes for sale in Baltimore. Realtors in MD, hence where I got my website name from. Whatever folks are searching for in Google, that's what we're kind of looking to capture. We're looking to capture that audience, depending on the keyword, and drive them to certain different parts of our website in terms of what they're looking to accomplish. Sell your house, buy a house, looking for a specific home in a specific area, whatever it may be. So that's one thing that we're definitely differentiating ourselves in terms of marketing to new clients, but also marketing the properties that we do sell as well. Putting our properties out in front of eyes first based on what people are searching, as opposed to just sticking a sign in the ground and posting it on MLS, things like that.
Yeah, that's really good. So we do, for marketing methods, for us, I would say our referral network or sphere of influence is a lot less utilized than what Chris does, but our outbound paid marketing is a lot larger than what he does. Basically, everything as an investor, the marketing that we do is all basically paid, non-organic, where a lot of Chris and other realtors marketing is organic. So when I say
Very
organic,
different.
when I say organic, I mean sphere of influence. So that means word of mouth within their own circles, and now SEO. So Chris has created his home online at his website, and now he's trying to get more searches through Google directed towards him. It's not free. He's spending money to do that.
Of course.
But he's claiming his space online and trying to direct traffic there. A lot of our marketing is outbound, meaning that we're taking a postcard and sending it in the mail. We're taking a text and sending it to your phone. We're using dialers to call your phone. We're dropping ringless voicemails. We're doing SEO and pay-per-click. So we are trying to do a lot of outbound marketing to really stand out, but also be omnipresent in front of our clients. So I found that the sellers that we're targeting, our clients, can be a lot harder to reach because maybe they haven't thought about selling the home yet. A lot of the homes that we target are second or third properties. A lot of the time they're vacant, and so out of sight, out of mind. Versus a lot of your clients, I would imagine, are typically the homeowner, and it's very hard. It's not out of sight, out of mind. Their home is right there, has a high emotional value to them.
Huge emotional. We always say, like, this is a business transaction, but it's a life transaction, and it can be very emotional. It's a big deal when we're honored to obviously be a part of someone's big move, because it's how many times do you move in a lifetime?
Not too many.
Yeah.
Not too many. So let's talk about you. So Chris and I have been working together for a year now, I would say.
Yeah.
And we've done in the range of 5 to 10 deals, I would say.
Yes.
5 to 10 deals together?
Yes.
Okay. And so last year we did right about 70 deals. So that was a decent little chunk that I did with Chris. And I've seen Chris grow in that time to go from his sphere of influence marketing now to a lot of SEO and grabbing a lot more of that traffic coming your way.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about, we were talking about that customer journey and how with sphere of influence, those are people like maybe your aunt or your mom's friends or your friend's friends or past clients' friends versus now people finding you on Google and not knowing you from the man on the street.
Sure.
Until maybe they talk to you. So is there a difference in how you speak with them and how you present to them or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. With someone who's not out of our sphere of influence, let's say a Google lead that has contacted us to buy or sell a home, we're certainly going to ask a lot more questions to get to know who they are and what they're looking to accomplish. Another thing we do bring is stats. I mean, most folks like to know what's going on in their market, so we're very statistical based in terms of showing them, hey, this is going on. It kind of goes back to being the expert in their field. They've reached out to a professional, so we want to be that professional and provide the knowledge to them in terms of what they're looking for. So it's definitely a different conversation, and we have to build the rapport up front versus a warm lead or a referral or something like that, who kind of know, like, and trust you through the network or had, their aunt. I worked with so-and-so and their aunt now needs to buy a home. So there's a direct kind of relation in between, a direct referral or review, you could say. So that's a much easier conversation. You already kind of you're going into that conversation with rapport. So working with a Google lead, and I'm sure you do this probably a lot more often because, like you said, your leads are mainly more cold leads. You have to build that rapport up front. And for us, it's really learning as much as we can about the customer. What are they looking to do? What are they looking to accomplish? How can we help them and provide them as much information as possible so that they can make an informed decision? So that's definitely the big difference there, is just building that rapport up front and taking the time to learn about them, like who they are, what makes them tick, what do they like to do. So that's been certainly something that we've had to be cognizant of, is in our terms of our sales pitch, you could say, or a listing appointment, however you want to call it.
So, if someone is ready, they're already ready to sell, and they're doing, they're meeting with agents or investors now, and they decide to work with you, what's the typical time it takes them to take your recommendations and get it live if they're ready and willing and all that kind of good stuff.
They're ready. If the home is ready, other than maybe just a quick declutter and a clean, 2-3 weeks on average.
So we can get up and going pretty fast.
Yeah, we can get up and going pretty quick. I always tell my team, our clients, I need about a week in terms of getting all the marketing prepared, photography, print marketing, getting everything uploaded to correct places for maximum exposure on the online, things like that. A week to 10 days is what we need. So if I meet with someone, their home's ready to go, I can have it up and running in 7 to 10 days, no problem. But oftentimes there is 1 or 2 things that the seller needs to do. So roughly, it's typically from the day we first meet to going live, about 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so you talked about your customer journey and how that goes typically for you. So let me talk briefly on our side, because this is pretty cool going back and forth on both sides of the market here.
How they're similar, but very different.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of the times, our marketing is outbound. Some of it is inbound, like Google PPC. People are coming to us. Sometimes they're calling us back from mail that we've sent, so they're calling on their time. But most of our solicitation and marketing is outbound, meaning we're reaching out to you to try to ask you if you're interested in what we do. And so we reach a wide number of people that are in different spectrums of the customer journey. And so for us, I teach my team that people are either problem aware or they're unaware. So that could be with their house. If they're in foreclosure, are they aware that they have a problem with foreclosure, or are they unaware? There's problem aware, there's solution aware. So are they aware that there is a realtor and an investor who could help them, or are they unaware of any of those? And then if they are aware, there's company aware. Are they aware that my company, Impact Home Team, or Chris's company even exists out there, or are they totally unaware? So if they're problem aware, if they're problem unaware, they're at the very, very beginning of their customer journey, and it's going to be a long time to talk to them, build that rapport, and get them to sell the house, right? But if they're problem aware, but they could be solution unaware. So they could be problem aware, solution unaware.
Maybe explain that. Like, they know they have a home that they need to sell, or it's a burden on them for whatever reason, but they don't know how to go about it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So they could be aware that they have a problem, a house that they need to sell, but unaware about the solution, meaning they don't know that there's a realtor and an investor out there who could solve the problem in different ways. They could also be problem aware and solution aware, but company unaware.
Yes.
Right? And so if they're already problem aware, they want to sell the house, solution aware, I understand why I should work with an investor, I understand why I should work with a realtor, but then they're company unaware, they don't know who we are, that's going to be a short path. Mm-hmm. They're already aware that they want to sell the home, they're already aware that they should sell with a realtor or an investor, but then you're just going to go in and pitch why they should work with you. That is the shortest customer journey of all. And so, of course, that's what we both like to get. It's going to be a lot easier path.
Of course.
But
it's not always that way.
No, it's definitely not. But us being aware of that customer journey as well is important, because not everyone's ready to sell right now. Mm-hmm. And so that's, I think, an important piece to how we both kind of operate there.
And that always comes, for us, it's questions. So we try to ask as many questions as we can to learn about what their needs are and really what they're looking to accomplish.
Okay, good. Well, I think I've asked all the questions, so let me give you one last question here. If you're in Maryland, if someone watching us is in Maryland and they're looking to sell their home and they know they want to work with a realtor, why are they going to call you versus the competition?
For us, it's going to be big on our client reviews, client testimonials, past references, things like that. We're going to go above and beyond for our clients in terms of coming up with a solution that works for their needs. That's really big for us. We're going to ask a bunch of different questions, deep dive, figure out what is in their best interest, and come up with a custom solution for their particular needs. We understand each home is different. We understand each client's needs are different. So we're really going to listen and determine a solution, hopefully offer more than one solution in terms of marketing or whatever it may be, to be able to get the client to where they want to do, to their end goal and what they're looking to accomplish. So just having the past client reviews, of course, the data to back it up in terms of what we do and what we get done.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, good deal. And so for us, I like to tell people, I always say that we're a small family-owned business, which we are, and what sets us apart as an investment company, I think, is what we say. We say what we do, and we do what we say. It's the old-fashioned way, and I think a lot of people really long for that nowadays. They're tired of scams, they're tired of sleight of hand, they're tired of smoke and mirrors, they're tired of weird contracts, and they're tired of people just not doing what they say. So it's my word when I work with a client that I tell you what I'm going to do, and then I actually do it, and then I have the results to back that up. So we have a bunch of testimonials on our site, like you do as well, and I think that those past testimonials, those past client testimonials, really speak volumes to your true character and how you work. So those are super important.
Absolutely. You know, I always say, you know, we work for the client. They don't work for us. So we really do believe that. We'll give you as much information as we possibly can, but ultimately it's their decision, and we'll support it regardless. So that's big for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, this has been a really good discussion. I look forward to continuing it. I think in the next few videos that we do together, we're going to go out to some properties, or we're going to go to some nice places around Maryland and Baltimore. So
yeah, this is just the beginning. I look forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope this has been informative for you guys. I hope that you've learned a little bit on why you would work with a realtor versus an investor if you want to sell your house in Maryland. Give me your website one more time before we go.
www.realtorsinmd.com.
Realtorsinmd.com.
Pretty easy to remember.
And our website again is www.sellyourmdhousenow.com. Sellyourmdhousenow.com. Well, Chris, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again. Bye, guys.